Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Real quickly, is it Girton? Did I pronounce that correctly?
Girton, sir.
Girton, okay. Well, I'm from the South, so we butcher everything, so I'm told. On the black vulture, I've talked to a lot of ranchers, especially out west. Obviously, we don't have them in South Alabama that I'm familiar with, but ranchers lose a lot of their livestock calving to these vultures. Has there any thought been given to reimbursing these ranchers for their losses?
Thank you for your question, Congressman. At this point, the legislation does not address any type of depredation compensation program. That's certainly something the author of the bill could look at, and there are similar programs for wolf depredation and other things that have been acted into law.
These ranchers make a living off every year from a breeding stock that keeps moving up. So I would suggest we look at something like that. If we're going to tell them they can't protect their livestock, we ought to at least try to help. What's that? Okay. All right. Ms. Chris, the great red snapper count that was done in the Gulf, do you know what year that was actually done?
In the Gulf? Yes, that just concluded, and the results of the Gulf Great Red Snapper count were integrated into management decisions this year.
Okay. Did they pull a net on that count, or did they actually count bottom fish?
It was a very comprehensive study. I can't speak to the specific methodology there, but it did reveal a great deal about the status of red snapper in the Gulf.
Okay, let me share a little bit of my sarcasm with you. I come from a private business background, and we don't make money unless we can figure out ways to save money and expand our market. Government doesn't work that way. Government doesn't care about cheap. They don't care about making a profit. They focus on trying to expand their department. So when these studies come up and you ask for another $5 million to do a study, it's in my mind, I get sarcastic, want to push back on it because you've created another problem that may or may not exist. How did we use the snapper count that we did 4 or 5 years ago, not exactly how long ago? Why did we not use it in the first 2 years? Because it was finished in the first 2 years. But we drug it out for 3 more years. We didn't use it. Why?
Thank you. I think this is a really beautiful case of how the science informed a management decision to result in an increase in the quota. The council made the decision to extend the timeline of how to use that data based on how they were analyzing that data and the need to then make decisions
We
on
issued
that.
a second set of money for that, correct?
Oh, that I will have to get back to you on.
I believe we did. So to my knowledge, these tests were ran by pulling nets over the top of reefs. These are reef fish. They're not going to be floating around, getting exposed very, very much. The University of South Alabama did their test. The Alabama Department of Wildlife put in their own software. I know Louisiana, Garrett's here. Louisiana has their own. So we did our own count too, and we came up with much more, or higher count, a better count than what you've got. But the two have come together, and yet you've cut back on the fish. So we're proving we've got more. You're using your numbers. You think we would match somewhere in between, but in reality, you cut back even further. What gives NOAA tell me the law that tells you have the right to tell people what they can catch and not catch?
Thank you, Congressman, for that question and for recognizing the state's role in managing red snapper. The difference in methodologies is being calibrated and will be reflected in decisions regarding the quota later this year. And that does recognize, as you said, the difference between...
I'm sorry, I'm running out of time. But we imposed the shark. You can't catch a snapper now for the sharks taking them off your hooks. That's the problem we're having in the Gulf all of a sudden. So I would propose that NOAA let nature be nature and hey, Sheriff, move your head. Move your head. I would propose that NOAA actually invite the fishermen and the people that do it on a daily basis versus just your your professionals that do these counts from systems that are outdated and long gone. Thank you for your service, though. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.